All right, everybody, welcome to tonight's LifeVantage overview. It is October 22nd. My name is Sarah Smith, and my husband and I will be splitting the presentation tonight. We're going to try to keep it tight, both of us on the screen at once. We tend to get really chatty, so I'm going to invite him in about halfway through the presentation. And we really want to keep this, our goal is to keep this right at about 45 minutes for you, so that you can get on with your day. If you're calling, we've got someone on here from New Zealand, wherever you are, you can just get back to what you're doing. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to slow yourself down to learn about this. This is an incredible packet of information that you're about to hear in this next 45 minutes. And, our story, my husband is Chris. I'm Sarah Smith. We live in Maine. We have a 9-year-old daughter. We've been in the business for 7 years. And about 7 years ago, we were put in front of this information by a nurse practitioner. She sat us down in front of an ABC investigative news report. And the news report blew my mind. My background is in the healing arts. I'm a massage therapist. I've been a body worker and entrepreneur all of my life, and love helping people, and always want to be the most effective therapist to helping my clients make great decisions and have a really positive experience in their healing journey. And so finding this information, being put in front of the news report by a nurse practitioner, blew my mind, because I'd never seen anything all natural or on a drug level either, but reduce the very condition of oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. It blew my mind, and we started digging deeper. And at that point in time, my husband and I were on a healing journey. I wasn't looking for a business right out of the gate, and neither was he. We were struggling with Lyme disease, and were looking for something outside of the traditional pharmaceutical regimen, and just because it wasn't working. And so for us, finding this information and knowing that what it was doing was turning on our body's way to heal itself at the cellular level was mind-blowing for us. And we started taking the product right out of the gate and had amazing results. I had less brain fog. I was sleeping better, had sustained energy, was able to make it through the day, through the dishes and into the evening without feeling too fatigued. So I felt this overwhelming sense of wellness that I hadn't experienced in a very long time. So I knew there was something special to this. And at the same time, my husband and I were bankrupt because of the disease itself. Our health insurance plan did not cover the alternative treatments that we were seeking. We were out of work, and it was a wake-up call to us, because we were feeling really good about our work. I loved what I did, showing up for my clients, but if I wasn't in the room and had my hands on bodies, the paycheck stopped. The same thing happened with my husband. He was a general contractor and master carpenter at the time. And when he didn't have a hammer in his hand and on the job site, he did not get a paycheck either. So here we were, no paychecks flowing, tapping into all of our savings accounts, 401ks. So we were looking for a better way. We were looking for a way to be able to diversify our income and really create a leveraged way to, if we were not in the mix, be able to sustain and still be able to, roll through some of the tougher times. So we began exploring. So the information you're seeing tonight is the same information we saw, but it was on a whiteboard. This is a little more polished, and we're going to look at the 10,000-foot view of LifeVantage and this company. And give you really good assessing tools if you're looking for any, new business, whether it's in network marketing or whether it's brick and mortar. You will need to really look at the 6 key components that make up a good business opportunity. And if one of them is missing, your chances of success really are, diminished greatly. So I'm just going to flip to this next screen, and we're going to talk about the trends. We're going to talk about products, the company, the system, timing, trends, and compensation. And all of these components are very important. So we're going to start with trends. And there's a huge trend in business, and it's called the gig economy. Now, when I thought of gigs, I was thinking of computer memory and was really thinking of an IT, gig economy. But this is about creating a side hustle or an at-home business, a different way to diversify for you to be able to take control of, your business, your finances, your life in a way where you can create something outside of your 9 to 5 or anything like that. And so what people are experiencing now is that there's always too much month at the end of the money, and the system isn't working. And I think it's the rise of the entrepreneur right now. And if you look here, Uber, Airbnb, Facebook, and Amazon, what do these four companies have in common? They all are an app on your phone, pretty much, or a website. And Uber and Airbnb, it's about being a connector. It's about connecting a driver to the backseat of a car, of an entrepreneur's car who wants to make a little extra money outside of what he does. Airbnb, somebody wants to rent out their apartment, make a couple extra bucks, and this app and this connector place for people is really about connecting the end user with an entrepreneur. Facebook is changing how we relate to people and the level of connection we have in the world. So it's really about being connected. And Amazon, it's the time of the subscription. So everything is on subscription. You can pretty much have your music, your movies, your television, all of your residual bills. Everything can be on a subscription. So business is changing. Big trend. Another trend is a trend in health. Nutrigenomics. Nutrigenomics is how all natural compounds affect our DNA. And right there it says, nutrigenomics, it's changing everything. Where we once thought we were powerless is now an area over which we have at least some control. The ability to use nutrition to affect our genes means that we're no longer at the mercy of our DNA. I can relate deeply to that statement. My mom passed of terminal cancer, when she was 49. And her sister passed of cancer, and my grandmother passed of cancer. So cancer runs in my side of the family. And for the longest time, you have this little nagging voice in the back of your head that says, I wonder if I'm going to get the cancer gene, and how long am I going to live my life? So what we're finding out is that the food you eat, the decisions you make, your environment also affects your DNA. And nutrigenomics is a really quick way to really have your DNA really working at its optimal health, which is really exciting. And this market is projected to be a $17 billion industry by the year 2023. So now, if you haven't heard of nutrigenomics, you will know a little bit more about it. But keep your ears open. This is an up and coming trend, and this company is leading the forefront in nutrigenomics. And it's around this concept of being hijacked 24/7. There is something that is taking us down in a sense. So we have the cell phones, we have the computers, the biochemical garbage that we're really exposed to. Allergies. Everyone has a fall allergy, some sort of allergy to a food source, to the environment, but it's heightened now. So our bodies, we can tell, are not operating at that peak potential. So biohacking is about taking control of our bodies and our own biology and creating a different result. So, and nutrigenomics is a very effective way to have that process happen fast. And it's about becoming the best version of you. So, taking a look at biohackers and where they're spending their money right now, they're looking at anti-aging, kind of support, so to speak, skincare, hair care, pet care, energy, and weight loss. These are all billion-dollar industries. And right now we have cutting edge and first-to-market products that are addressing this very concept that I'll get deeper into in a minute, but around the idea of activating our own body's way to heal itself. So, and they're targeted for each one of these industries. And from a business, when you're looking at this, health and wellness being a trend that is growing at, every year, double time. This is, can we capture a little bit of this growth? Absolutely. People are looking for this. And it started with Protandim. Protandim it means to synergize. And what it is, it's an NRF2 synergizer. What does that mean? Well, it's simply a pathway that is tied to our defense mechanism for aging. This particular product was our flagship product. It's where this company started. It's where a majority of our science is right now. And it's made with turmeric, milk thistle, ashwagandha, bacopa, and green tea. And it lowers the condition of oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. They just recently finished this study where it's the only all-natural supplement that's proven to extend life. And this is the first theory on aging. There are 3 theories of aging that we're going to talk about tonight. The very first one is around the theory of oxidative stress. So oxidative stress is garbage that builds up in our cells that has a hard time kind of dispelling and detoxing as we age. Everything slows down. So another thing to note with Protandim is that the regulations for manufacturing and knowing exactly what's on the label is exactly what's in the bottle. There's the Banned Substance Control Group, which approves collegiate, Olympic, and professional athletes to be able to take this product without having the doping flag. The NSF is another white glove test, again, for high levels of manufacturing, so you know what you're getting is actually what the bottle says you're getting, and that's huge for athletes to be able to take that. And it's not just me that's excited about this. There are 27, but 26 are featured on pubmed.gov. If you don't know about this resource, write it down. This is the National Library of Medicine put on by the National Institutes of Health. It's where top tier science lands. It's the Google for doctors, and Harvard University, the American Heart Association, they all picked up on Protandim and studied it. So it's a very dynamic company in the sense of when I started, there were 9 peer-reviewed studies on PubMed. Now there's 26, and it's growing. The media has also covered Protandim, so really fun to research that. Dr. Phil Montel-Williams, it's been out there. But the most important thing on this page are the patents. Why are the patents important? Because when you're looking at business, if there was a Wall Tandem, if there was a Rite Aid Tandem, if there were other knockoffs, Me Too products of this, it would not be as good of an opportunity. So having the patents, 2 things it provides. 1, no one can duplicate or replicate our product for the next 18 to 20 years. And then second, that if you are not a science geek and have trouble reading the science, the US patents are great to dive deep for layman's terms in how this works and how it affects specific conditions. So the patents are key here. The second theory on aging is around mitochondrial health. It's the theory of the mitochondrial health. Protandim NRF1 is, again, it's activating a protein. It's an activator versus a supplement. So here is, if you take anything away from this entire presentation, the biggest difference between what we're about is the fact that we activate and turn on the body's way to do the work versus supplementation. Huge distinction and pioneering way of treating and really supporting the body's optimal health. Protandim NRF1, this is around mitochondrial health. So the mitochondria, what are they? They're the power plant in every cell. They provide the energy needed for cognitive health, for an athlete in his repair, kind of repair states. And it's very good for sleep as well. And this is also made with 5 ingredients: alpha lipoic acid, CoQ10, grapeseed extract, quercetin, and acetyl L-carnitine. NAD is the 3rd theory on aging, okay? And this is around sirtuins. So this is the theory on aging around sirtuins. So the Protandim NAD It's an activator for a molecule that, again, is tied to autophagy, so removing cellular waste, positive mood, mental and physical energy. Sirtuins deplete just like enzymes with the NRF2 protandum, just like mitochondrial health. What happens is our body just stops really activating proteins like it used to when we were younger. And so what NAD is the building block to have, everything functioning really well. It's like the president of a cell. If everybody has a job in a cell, the NAD molecule is really kind of the head honcho that creates all of these cascading effects in the body when it comes to cellular responses. So we know that as we age, caloric restriction is really important. The less food we eat, the less damage at the cellular level. This is, instead of doing 800 calories a day, if your NAD is firing and really healthy, this particular activator doubles the sirtuin productivity in 24 hours. So it's extraordinary. And I'm going to give you a quick testimonial here, personal testimonial. I've been on NAD now since October 4th. And the things that I normally procrastinate on, I'm not procrastinating on. There's this level of motivation. I took all the screens out of my windows. I cleaned every single window in my house, and I was like, boom, I was done. But can I tell you how long I stared at the screens and the windows to be cleaned in my house? So I am able to address kind of the areas in my life that I've been putting aside. So I've been sleeping well. I've been really positive, very clear, mentally focused. I've had an incredible response to this, and I'm excited for what this can do for others. It'll be great. So I'm journaling away at all the changes that I'm noticing, personally. This has 4 ingredients. It's a mix of copper and niacin. You've got an olive leaf, wasabi, and teocrine. So it's very pure, and it's part of the 3. So the 3 together create an amazing synergy. And I think that's something you really want to take away with this too. It's not like, which one should I take? It's about taking all 3, because the synergy between the 3 is very powerful. The science showing the 3 together is way more efficacious than just taking one of the 3. So keep that in mind as well. And so those 3 technologies are really what set us apart. What we're going to do is go into the products just briefly, because I could spend a whole hour just on the products, and there's more to this, and I want to get my husband in here to share with you as well. But what this company is doing is they're looking at all the systems in the body, and they want the body to be functioning at its highest level. So the ProBio, we know that gut and brain health is extremely important. What the distinction and the difference that the ProBio, how it holds to other ProBios is a patented technology called BioTrack. It allows the bacteria to make it through the stomach acid and have a 60% survival rate, versus all other probiotics on the market only have an absorption rate of 4%. The omega is the other piece to the equation. It's the healthy fats for the brain. It's how the connection and the glide and how everything kind of works together. The omega is a big piece to really how things bind at the receptor sites to what it's doing for our brain. Rich in EPA and DHA, vitamin D3. The distinguishing thing about this product is that you can trace the bottle back to the boat. You can figure out which tray of ice the fish was on. You can do your research. So it's good to know where your fish oils are coming from. The physique ends in IQ, which to me is like a smart weight management system. So you have a protein, physique protein powder, fat burn, and a prebiotic. What I can tell you is the protein has 18 grams of protein. It blends well. It's not chalky. It's delicious. put the prebiotic in there with it. The prebiotic really sets the stage for the probiotic working really well. So you need to have, the prebiotic in there really kind of allows this fertile ground, so to speak, for healthy weight management. The fat burn is specifically focused on visceral fat, and it's a combination of green coffee bean and citrus that unlocks the fat cells and allows our body to turn on and burn the fat. And it's tied to specifically the visceral areas, which are important as we age. So we have the ultimate stack. The company's put together a couple of different products here that, the NAD along with the NRF1 and NRF2, the probio, the omega, and the prebiotic. That is kind of the ultimate for optimal health. So now we're getting into the series of products where when people were taking Protandim NRF2, our flagship product, they saw the power in how it unlocked the cells, activated our body's way to turn on its own pharmacy. So they took that ratio of herbs and they targeted it for specific parts in the body. So Axio is targeted for the brain. So it's NRF2 targeted for the brain, works on balancing brain chemistry, reduces mental fatigue, brain fog, positive mood. It's also a vegan formula and approved for athletes. It's a great substitute for coffee or any of the sugary beverages that people lean on mid-afternoon. True Science is a very clean skincare line that, again, took the NRF2 combination of herbs and put it to the test, activated the, activates your skin's way to heal itself and protect itself from the environmental damages from the sun. It's a 4-part system: facial cleanser, perfecting lotion, eye serum, anti-aging cream. And if you don't have this app, here's a little heads up for you. It's called Think Dirty. Get it on your phone. You can put in your kitchen sort of dish soaps to your bathroom, anything that soaps, cosmetics, anything like that. You can put it into this app and it will rate whether it's a clean product or a not so clean for the product, for your body and for the environment. So 0 to 3 is a very clean product. 8 to 10 is not so good. So Think Dirty rated our skincare line a 2. So that's very good to know. True Science Hair Care System, that again is NRF2 targeted for the scalp. As we age, our hair might get brittle. Through the hormonal changes, you might start losing hair. This sets the stage for a very healthy scalp environment so that your body, body and your scalp can create really good hair. It's like a really good formula for that. And so lots of really great testimonials around what it's doing for people's hair. We can't say that it grows people's hair, but what's happening is the environments are really good, and so people are having really successful, healthy hair stories. So seek out one of those if you're curious. It also won a Stevie Award winner. The Stevie Awards are a prestigious business award that 8,600 companies sort of enter to put their products, for judges to rate them. And so if you look into this, the hair care system won a bronze award for one of the most innovative and best hair care systems. It's a good award. So Pet Tandem for dogs. Dogs have 7 times the oxidative stress that humans do. And so when you're thinking about these pathways in the body and you're thinking about the technologies, it's, with the Protandim NRF2, it works 100% of the time in all mammals. So dogs have this pathway. So people were feeding their dogs Protandim, having amazing results, and the company decided, hey, let's make a product where we can feed our dogs and it tastes like bacon and chicken and that kind of thing. So this is a fun treat for the dogs. So this is our portfolio of products. I feel honored that I get to mention them all. We are, slowly coming to the age of with this company where there's going to be a lot of different things coming, I'm sure, down the pipeline. There's free shipping available for some of these packs, and you can choose your level of biohacking. The Protandim NRF2. Some people will start with that if that's where they feel like they need to be. But for the ultimate sort of hack, it's really around that. It's around the ultimate stack that includes the NAD. So now we're on to the company story, and I'm going to ask I'm going to invite my husband up here to really carry on with this. We love the company story. The company's been around since 2003, 03 to 09. Our company sat in retail, and an investigative news report sort of, kind of sparked the interest of many. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce Chris Smith, and we're going to trade it out.
Okay, thanks everyone for jumping on tonight. I'm about to slide in here and do my part. As Sarah said, that this news report back in 2005 sparked a lot of people's interest, and it sparked my interest. This is how I was introduced to this company 7 years ago. Sarah mentioned a nurse practitioner put us in front of this information, and she also put us in front of a young man named Jordan, and he had a business proposal for me at the time, although it wasn't really what I was looking for. It kind of came out of left field, but he had a conversation with Sarah and I about residual income, leveraged income, royalty income. These concepts were kind of fascinating to me because just in the months prior to being introduced to this, I found myself working in the construction trades as a general contractor. Not my entire working background, but this was working for us at the time. But I came to find myself working dark to dark, basically 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and not seeing my family so much or participating in our family vacations. And so although I found it a good route to provide for our family, I found myself kind of open to exploring other ideas about where my working career was going to go in the next few years. So some of this information, after filtering through it, also having my own experience with our initial technology, led me to think this might be the opportunity I was kind of cooking up in my head, although the visions I had were completely different than network marketing. So I wasn't looking for network marketing. If you're on here and looking at this from a business proposal standpoint, and you're not looking for network marketing either, that's okay, because neither was our board of directors. Funny story, back in 2005, we were just about everywhere at an outlet you would want to be if you had a nutritional supplement. We were at GNC and Rite Aid and Vitamin Shop trying to do it in retail. And we developed our initial product just 2 years prior to that, in 2003. So ABC News comes in to basically report on our technology that Sarah had talked about, our initial NRF2 activator, and to basically just, I think, debunk it from the gist I could get of that news report when I had seen that. And the reason they did come in is no one had done that before. No one had effectively lowered anyone's oxidative stress. So ABC News came in to see what was going on, basically gave an endorsement to our technology. And because of that endorsement, the store shelves cleared. This should have been a good thing for the company. But at the time, the store shelves clearing equated to coming up with another $5 million or so dollars worth of product to restock those store shelves. The problem was this, is prior to that, they were doing about $3 million a year in sales. That equated to, I think, about a half of a bottle of Protandim per store per month. So with no ability to immediately restock the store shelves, a couple things happened. People who initially gained any interest in our product, lost interest. After 9 months, they were not going back to GNC or Rite Aid or Vitamin Shop to find out if we were able to restock the store shelves. The other thing that happened was investors started losing confidence and pulling their money out of the company. And in a very short period of time, within a few years, the company was about to go under. And in 2009, they took a big chance on network marketing. I like to say in football terminology, it was basically a Hail Mary by the board of directors. I think they were just putting something up and not really confident it was going to work, but just as an option before they closed the doors or packaged the company and sold it. It was a hugely successful move for the company. It rescued the company out of doing about $3 million a year in sales. That has brought us in, we just hit our 10-year mark in network marketing to $225 million, almost $250 million company. We've had tremendous growth. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have been since the fall of 2012 when I first looked at LifeVantage. And that's very unique in the network marketing industry, one, to be publicly traded, and on top of that, to be publicly traded on a large index. And back in 2005, we were just operating in one market, and you can kind of see where we're expanding now. 18 countries going into 19. I had heard New Zealand is on tonight, and New Zealand is the next country slated to open for business with our company, LifeVantage. Very, very exciting. And at the bottom, you see countries that are in our global customer program. This is different countries where we've gone through regulatory and people can access our products, but we're not open for business yet to build a distributor network. So tremendous growth, 10 years in network marketing. Again, a fantastic move by our board of directors to approve that move out of retail. So a little bit about our system. This was a big one for me in looking at this, deciding whether or not this is something I thought I could do. My background, as I told you, was working as a general contractor. And prior to that, the bulk of my experience in the working world has been working in the outdoor recreation industry. I grew up as a passionate skier, and I always, since probably the age of 10, was trying to figure out how I was going to get paid to ski. And I spent the bulk of my working career as a professional ski patroller. Most of that time was spent at a large resort in California. I had a great time doing that, but someone with my background, I figured I needed some kind of a system, something to plug into if I was going to do this. Our company has developed a system. I think modern network marketing companies are trying to move into this model of intellectual distribution, sharing links and information, as opposed to physical distribution, as opposed to us, the representatives, gathering product to get out there to our customers and do the monetary exchanges. Our company has built an e-commerce model where, as a representative of the company, we get a duplicated website. This is what we put out there for people who want to access information on our company or order products. You can see our shopping platform has what's called shopping cart and also subscription technology. That's a big deal. If you were going to build a business and build a website like this for yourself, it would probably certainly cost tens of thousands of dollars to incorporate all this technology. And this is just a few of the things our company does for us to make it easy for us to, again, just share links and resources. They've already authored a marketing plan and, again, built an e-commerce platform and also an online information platform for us. Really, in utilizing this company's system, you're just going to decide for yourself, I think, how many hours a week you would want to dedicate to this as a project. And really the only limitation at this point, because everything's been put in place, is your own drive, your decision to actually implement this system, this program that the company has put together. So moving just into a discussion about timing, Sarah had talked a little bit about trends, but you can kind of see where sales, this is in the billions of dollars globally are going with network marketing. This, like a few other industries, is something on the rise right now. I think people are looking for other options. A single income, and sometimes for a family, husband and wife out there working doesn't do it. Someone's got to get an extra job. So as Sarah said, people are looking at this gig economy, and network marketing is fast becoming one of these gigs that's fascinating to people. And I think for that reason, it was fascinating to me, this idea of building something that's an asset, some leveraged income. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So there's two curves represented here. The red curve, the bell curve, is really how a trend is adopted in society. An economic trend, which we're well ahead of right now. These things just come in this shape, basically like a wave. And people who are ahead of that trend, just like a wave, you want to catch surfing, you want to paddle really hard before it gets there. These are the people developing the new businesses, the new technologies, the new connection points for that economic wave coming in. So back before the tech wave came in, the people that stood the most to gain when that wave came through were the people in 1979 that were soldering together the first computer data boards in someone's garage and calling that Apple computer, and getting way ahead of this wave that was coming in. Again, we see the middle, that fat part of that wave, the early and late majority. Most of those people are just swept up as consumers. Well, the wave that we're paddling ahead of right now is the wellness wave. And this is something outside of the sick care industry, where you get a disease and then you get treated for that disease after you're sick. This is people taking a proactive approach to their health and wellness. And this is a wave that's been building from people's interest in just organic food to now this biohacking movement, and people looking into nutrigenomics and different ways to optimize their health. Well, we've had patented significant technologies out for a long time, nutrigenomic products in the marketplace already, proven by science, backed by patents, when other companies are just starting to begin their conversation and their research and development into nutrigenomic products. This wave has been identified by many top economists to be the biggest economic trend in human history, this wellness wave. So this is something we're well ahead of. The blue curve, that's called the business S-curve, developed by this guy, Peter Drucker. He studied tens of thousands of businesses to identify how and why some companies climb this curve, and how and why somewhere upwards of 80 or 90% simply fail before that little asterisk point, before they make that huge transition of momentum growth and become one of these gigantic stabilized companies. Well, you can kind of plug in all those factors to network marketing and look at stabilized network marketing companies and walk back down that curve to kind of look at a company like LifeVantage, where it sits right now, 10 years into network marketing, and determine whether or not it's on that predictable trajectory. And I think it is at this point. Maybe a few years ago, that wasn't so certain. But if you walk back some of these larger network marketing companies, you see a few things. At the top of that curve, they'll have anywhere from 2 to maybe 3 or 4 or 5 million distributors or representatives of those companies working in all these markets around the world. And they might be in 70 or 80 or maybe even upwards of 90 countries. And as you can see, we're just moving into 18, 19 countries right now. As you back down the history of some of those companies, you can clearly see that somewhere around halfway through the momentum growth, they were posting about 500,000, about 500,000 hardworking distributors across these markets that they're in. And you can kind of notch it back even further, down where that asterisk is, down where these companies started to make this huge climb through momentum. And what they found there in looking at these companies through an analysis done through the Harvard Business Review, taking data from the Direct Sellers Association, a trade group of companies in network marketing, they found that somewhere in the neighborhood of 125,000, maybe up to 150,000, somewhere in that range, it was that number of distributors, hardworking distributors, that helped kick off momentum in these companies. Currently, LifeVantage sits right now around 100,000 distributors. We're just below that threshold. And 10 years in network marketing to be in almost 20 countries is phenomenal. To look back at some of these gigantic network marketing companies that are in the wellness space. There's one out there that does about $5 billion. It's about 25 times larger than our company right now. They've been around for 40 years. And if you scroll back, when they were at their 10-year mark, this company was publicly traded, I believe, on the NASDAQ, just being listed on the New York Stock Exchange. They were in 10 countries, and they sat right on the threshold of going into their single biggest decade of global expansion. So for this company, that was year 10 to year 20. And now they're in, I believe, just over 90 countries. Their second biggest decade, by the way, global expansion, was year 20 to year 30. So for them, the first 10 years, and then looking at these other big stabilized network marketing companies, really just laid the foundation for them to get to a point where they had this predictable trajectory of success. And for us, I think we're there. We became debt-free and profitable in 2011. Again, publicly traded on the NASDAQ. Our stock ticker is LFVN. And you can take a look at our market capitalization and what other kinds of companies are investing their money into LifeVantage, and see who kind of shares that vision of us having a projectable trajectory of success right now. I think it's absolutely inevitable. Real quick, in touching upon our system before I move into compensation, there's a number of different ways to get started. For someone seriously looking at this from a business opportunity standpoint, the way to get in would be the Platinum Pack, and the reason being that has all of the products made by our company. Okay, and there's a tremendous amount of value built into that pack. That's $1,250, a little over $700 in basically savings over the retail value of the products that you're going to get in there. And then as a representative of the company, you get the website, the e-commerce platform. These things are all updated for us by the company. And then you get these other assets listed. Corporate, production, quality control, as Sarah mentioned, the BSCG and the NSF. Those quality control standards come at a cost and take some time. Our company takes care of all the shipping. We have a great customer service department. Our website, IT. We also have a back office that manages our entire business for us. Advertising and marketing, it's funny, that's kind of on us. We implement the marketing plan, but the company does invest a lot to show us that they've got our back. They sponsor a professional soccer team in Salt Lake City, in the MLS, the Real Salt Lake. And what's really cool about professional soccer is the chief sponsor's name is emblazoned across the front of the jerseys of all the players, and it's all over the stadium. So LifeVantage is committed to investing in us to make sure the company's name is out there so that when we're talking about it, it might be familiar. So they do take care of some advertising and marketing for us. Legal and compliance, our accounting, I told you about our back office, and also events and promotions, live trainings on how to do this, how to implement this system, and how to become a network marketer for LifeVantage, basically. They take really, really great care of us with this system. Now, in talking about compensation real quick, this is kind of the last section of this. I decide for myself whether or not this was going to be worth it as something to build as opposed to trying to start another business or get another job on the side, our company pays roughly in 6 different ways. There are other promotions and incentives, but roughly 3 of those bonuses are paid weekly. Our company is going to be maybe shifting next year into daily pay, which would be very exciting. But these are for enrollments and sales of product, actually, from brand new customers, people who are just introduced to LifeVantage for the first time and making their first purchase. And then the other sets of bonuses are royalty income or leveraged income. A small piece of those repeated orders is put aside and paid out again as royalty income. And then we also have a couple of, I guess, revenue or profit sharing bonuses. One is in the group that you build for the company. It's a matching bonus. And then the other one is a global revenue sharing bonus for the elite ranks of the company. They share in 4% of global revenue on a monthly basis. And we'll take a look at what that looks like. This is our income disclosure statement. This is probably rare in network marketing. Most companies will show you a compensation example. These were the actual commissions paid out to all the distributors at these ranks. So you'll see the paid rank. The next column is the annual average income, and then the monthly average income is what we want to look at. I like to focus here on the premier Pro 4s, Pro 5s, and Pro 6s, kind of the middle ranking distributors of our company. Sarah and I are premier Pro 6s in LifeVantage. That has been life-changing. Becoming Pro 4 was life-changing for our family. But between the Pro 4s and the Pro 6s, they make anywhere from $1,400 a month in leveraged income up to just over $6,000 a month in leveraged income. And all those ranks combined, the company paid out somewhere just under $30 million last year. So $30 million was split up between families making $1,400 and $6,200 a month. I think that's fantastic. Our company has a really solid middle class and a compensation plan that works, not just for the people on top and not just for the people that can enroll new people in purchasing product with the company, but a solid, sustainable middle class with some really solid residual incomes there that can be life-changing for families at all levels. So for myself, it was really just about looking at this, deciding what income would be worth it to invest 5 or 10 or 20 hours of our week to want to help grow this company, and figuring out a plan with the people who introduced us to this information about what it would take to get to Pro 4 by investing that amount of time, or what would it take to get to Pro 6 and possibly make some of these incomes represented here. So in looking at this is just kind of an analysis of, in a very general sense, of what it looks like when we go to work for 40 or 50 or 60 years or more and want to retire, and what life might look like in building an asset with residual income. But for me, in a very general sense, I want to put this out there to people, for business partners, for ourselves, and I think company-wide, but I can just speak for myself, that one trait, I guess, I'm looking for in people is just someone who's looking to have the next 5 years of their life, their working life, their family life, their recreational life, be better than the last 5 years. And that's not that the last 5 years were bad, but they're always looking for some kind of improvement, that there might be something else to go for out there. There might be something better out there. I think that's a big part of what this graph is about. And in closing, never depend on a single income. We don't, although we've reached a point in the company that I had said quite some time ago that, oh, geez, you know, once we're bringing in that much money, we won't necessarily have to work or punch a time clock anymore. I know my wife works very, very hard. She owns her own business. I've gone actually back to work in the ski industry, which starting this time of year, well into the spring, takes up a lot of my time. We have multiple sources of income, including working with LifeVantage. That makes our family very stable and secure, more so than it was 5 years ago and the 5 years previous to that. And that's kind of been my goal moving forward. So in closing, guys, I just want to say, as our company does well, we want to go out there in the world and do good. And these are some of the different institutions, charities, and nonprofits that we've donated our time and money to getting out there in the world helping. So thank you very much, guys. If you found any of this information compelling, I urge you to get with the person who shared this link with you tonight. My beautiful wife, Sarah, is popping in to say goodbye to all. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm going to stop the share here and try to
the recording
and back out of our broadcast.